was using it as an example where we have to be mindful of what we're doing around the people that we are, guiding or can have some type of influence on.
I want to add to that.
Mhm.
So in my household, it was a little different.
Okay.
Like my mother, everything was surrounded around, excuse me, us going to church,
Mhm.
our relationship with God.
Mhm.
We dressed a certain way. We did things differently.
Right.
So even though as parents,
Yeah.
we display certain things to our children. Sometimes our children choose whatever path they want to choose. So,
Yeah.
in spite of my mother being that example
Yeah.
for Candace, this is how you should do X, Y, and Z, and she would show me that, I decided to make other decisions, even though I did not see that in my mother.
Yeah.
So, I remember the time when I decided that I wanted to start doing what I wanted to do, and my mother is what you would consider to be a strict mother, what people consider to be that way, and it wasn't even her being really strict that really changed me. It was the time that I was just so rebellious that she just washed her hands of me at that time. And I
Okay.
just started just living life in a fast lane, doing all those things. And at first I felt like it was my mother giving up on me,
Right.
but I feel like that was one of the best decisions my mother could have made for me. Because as parents, we have to learn, and even though we display certain things, it
Mhm.
may not even be generational.
Mhm.
Sometimes it's just children having to have those experiences and wanting to live the life that they feel like that they see other people living and
Mhm.
want to do those things. So I feel like now as a parent that I I do things a little differently than my mother. And
Mhm.
even though I do feel like the household and having playing certain music in the household and doing
Right.
certain things, I think it kind of changed me from doing things because of my experience, things a
Mhm.
little differently than my mom. That I let my children have those experiences because them having those experiences will be the best teacher for them and help guide them through life and help them become better adults.
And I hear you when you say we do go off to do our own things sometimes.
Mhm.
But for me,
Mhm.
I just feel like if I would have had some of the conversations
Mm.
that I have with my granddaughter
Mhm.
that I probably should have had with my son, it could just have been
A little
a
different.
tad bit
Mhm.
different, you
Mhm.
know. My mom wasn't all bad, but I think like some of her struggles that she had in childhood and trying to figure it out in adulthood,
Mhm.
you know, she just was doing the best she could.
Right.
Cause I remember like a lot of things that I would do around my son is
Mhm.
things that my mom did.
Mm.
And the thing is like I don't even know. She probably didn't even figure. She probably didn't even think it was wrong.
Mhm.
She was just going through life,
Right.
figuring out life.
Right.
As I am an adult and had my son and a mom and a wife, I found myself I'm doing the same thing,
Yeah.
just trying to figure out life. So
Mhm.
thank you for that insight. It's
Yeah.
very helpful. So as we continue to talk about the generational consequences, we talked about it's learned behavior and just some more examples of consequences of what we do. That's why you see addiction running through families,
Mhm.
you see abuse running through family. This is a big one for me. Financial irresponsibility.
Mhm.
Child is shopping.
Mhm.
I love the shop.
I love the shop too.
And before we came on, we was talking about. I told you
Yeah.
I cleaned underneath my bed.
Mhm.
That's it. Yesterday, if I never realized that I had a problem,
Mhm.
was yesterday.
Yeah.
Do you know how many? Well, I told you the flip flops that I pulled from underneath of that bed that I
Mhm.
forgot about,
Mhm.
and I'm saying to myself, why? I had to be real with myself.
Mhm.
Why am I buying all this stuff?
Yeah.
When you grow up
Mhm.
without not being the girl who wore the popular
Mhm.
clothes,
Mhm.
didn't dress the best.
Mhm.
I will never forget this story. Being in 7th grade,
Mm.
wearing my mom Reeboks to school,
Wow.
and having those children
Mhm.
tease me.
Yeah.
They called me Relongs.
Mm.
One day I was getting off the school bus. This is a true story.
Mhm.
And I wonder, like, if any of my friends that watch this, that went to school, they got to remember this.
Yeah.
Getting off the school bus, they all planned to say together on the bus, Relongs, when I got off the bus.
Wow.
So it's almost like I get off the bus, and they must have said, 1, 2, 3.
Ooh.
And everybody said, Relongs!
Ooh.
on the bus.
That's embarrassing.
Horrible. Horrible.
Mm.
And that's why I say not to be insensitive, but I feel
Okay.
like this generation too. So, because it's the teasing and the
Yeah.
stuff that we
Yeah.
had to endure back
Yeah.
then. But yes, that was one of my experiences.
Mhm.
And as you are healing for
Mhm.
real and
Mhm.
you're working out your why as to why you do certain things and the things that you want to improve in your life, that's one of my areas that I want to improve in. Is not so much shopping, even though I'm saying all this now and then leave right out of here and
wanna
probably
buy
stop
something.
it.
Yes.
But I will say this, I'm being more intentional now about my spending.
Good.
Like, try not to just, you know what we do, emotional shop.
Yeah.
Like, they say, what do they call it? Retail therapy.
Okay.
Retail
Okay.
therapy. I'm trying to do better with that and being more intentional. Now, I'm not going to sit here and be phony and say I'm not going
Right.
to shop at all, but I've really been trying to work on that part. But I realized, though, that I'm making up for childhood when I'm buying all that stuff. It's just, I feel like I got to, I don't know what that's about. But
Some people, I enjoy shopping.
I did,
probably
me
do
too.
retail therapy.
I do.
I did go through the time that I was teased in school, and I used to hide around the corner, and I didn't want people to see my shoes. And thinking of it now with my children, it could be why I worked so hard.
Yeah.
To make sure they had, so they would not experience the things that I experienced.
Yeah.
So that could be why. That could be something from my childhood that makes me work extra hard.
Yeah.
And and also that way with my granddaughter,
Mhm.
I think that is probably come from some childhood stuff and those experiences from not having that makes me not want my children to go through the same things that I went through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the good thing about all of this is that when you recognize
Mhm.
where you're falling short, because the thing with healing, everybody always say they're healing. You sit on my healing journey,
Mhm.
heal for real,
Mhm.
But when you are truly, I always say this with so much passion, if you are truly healing for real, some things you will be intentional about
Oh, okay. Yes.
that has to go.
Mhm.
I'm just so thankful for where I'm at
Mhm.
in this journey
Mhm.
of healing,
Mhm.
and it's kind of some areas that I'm growing in is kind of scaring me.
Okay.
When you start, let's talk about like not caring, where you get into a dangerous level of being unbothered.
Mm.
And I don't want to, I mentioned this before, I don't never want to come off as I don't care.
Mhm.
When I choose myself sometimes,
Mhm.
when I'm not trying to, like we say, you got to break the curse. So breaking the curse, you have to respond differently. You got to move differently. I don't ever want to come off as I don't care, but sometimes I feel guilty for like choosing myself.
Mm.
Like I'm doing something wrong.
Mm.
Like how can I say it?
You feel a sense of guilt about it? But I think when you start making changes, I do think it's a time that you start feeling like not really comfortable with the change, that it might not feel comfortable at first. It's something new.
Mm-hmm.
And with you start you thinking like, oh, maybe because this is new about me not feel about me feeling not feeling unbothered, that this might be a bad thing. But once you start feeling unbothered enough, you don't feel the guilt about feeling unbothered. As long as in your heart your intentions are good, and just we always want what's best for other people, but we have to want what's best for ourselves too.
That is true.
And we pour into other people, and people, we do things for other people, and people are not as considerate about our feelings.
That is true.
So we have to get to a point where we become so guarded that we are protecting ourselves from people that we have let in that have not always been as careful about how they handled us. So if we don't handle ourselves right, who gonna handle us right?
That is true. I'm thankful, but it just be so uncomfortable sometimes.
I mean, once you do something long enough, even things that's uncomfortable, you're gonna get comfortable with it over time.
Yeah.
And once I make a decision and say, Candace, this is best for me.
Mm-hmm.
This is the best decision for me. And once I've prayed about it and I'm okay with that, I'm moving on to the next thing. I can't feel guilty. You can't feel guilty for doing what's best for you.
Mm-hmm.
And when it's people that care about you, they're going to be okay with you choosing you if that's what's best for you.
Mm-hmm. It's funny as she was talking. One of my younger friends, she has this thing where she says forward thinking.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can't stay there. You gotta forward think. You gotta move on.
Right.
It's just that when we talk about cut off. I'm sorry. When we say cut off access, like God is love.
Mm-hmm.
One day, I'm gonna say this. I want to elaborate on this before we close.
Okay.
One day I was in Bible study.
Okay.
One of the ladies in Bible study said, people can do X, Y, Z. I can forgive them, but they just don't have access no more.
Mm.
So another person turned around and said, and it had me thinking, what if Jesus did you like that?
Mm.
And so I was having this conversation with one of my girlfriends yesterday, and she said, well, Jesus had boundaries too.
Mm.
And I said, oh, okay.
Okay.
So I guess now I got to research Jesus' boundaries,
right.
Mm-hmm. So I just wanted to bring that up.
Yeah.
That change is uncomfortable, but it's necessary.
Mm-hmm.
So we close this out. Of course, it takes faith to do all of this, right?
Mm-hmm.
What would you tell the younger version of yourself about God?
In spite of what you go through or have gone through, that God will never leave you. So even in the midst of me making all those poor decisions,
yes,
and some people had lost hope for me, stopped dealing with me, though I was too much, that God will never leave you alone. In spite of your poor decision making, He will love you. He will care for you. And if I can, I would like to say a few things.
Go ahead.
Okay. I just wanted to say to anybody watching this podcast that even though you make mistakes as your younger self,
yes,
and I made a ton of bad decisions.
Yes.
It gets to a point, though, that you have to make a conscious decision to change. And sometimes we don't know how to make that change. Sometimes change can seem so big, or it can seem afar off. Mm-hmm. But change is possible when you make a choice. And the choice that I made was not just to have Jesus and just because He's with me, that I know He's there. Mm-hmm. I decided to let Him in my life. And that's when true change happened. He was with me, but I did not always let Him in. So He can make the change inside of me. So when you let God in, that's what I want to encourage you to do. Let him all the way in. Because we let him in the areas of our lives that we feel like we want to change. Because those are the easier parts. But in the hard places, the places where we know that that's a problem. I keep revisiting that. That thing is an addiction. Addiction may be different things, shopping, sex, whatever. You can have any kind of addiction or anything that you can, any ways that you continue that it's hard for you to change. But if you let God all the way in that area of your life,
Yep.
then all of those things will work together for your good. And you will see this great masterpiece that God will make in you, through you, and use you as you get older. And that's why I have embraced all of the challenges, all of the pain, and the defining moment, the thing that really changed, because I lost my sister in 2014 to lupus. And I started looking at life differently because I thought I was going to live forever. We think that, especially
so much time.
younger people,
Yeah.
we think that we have so much time.
Yeah.
And we are on borrowed time. And a friend of mine tells me this all the time when I'm around him, an older gentleman. He said, Candace, we on a contract. And we may not know when that contract will end. So I'm telling my younger self, but I also want to tell you watching that we are on contract and we are on borrowed time. So take advantage of the time you have and let God in your life and let him help you make those changes. So all things will work together for the good of those who love the Lord and who are called according to his purpose. And you are called, you are loved, and you are called according to his purpose. You just have to let him in and let him make those changes, and you will see the life that God has purposed you to live. Thank you for listening.
Amen. Amen.
Yeah.
So, as you are wanting your change, doing your change,
Yeah.
needing to change,
Yeah.
I want to share this. You got to show up as yourself.
Yeah.
And I want to also just have a real transparent moment.
Mm-hmm.
Even doing this very thing with podcasting, it's challenging.
Yeah.
I know that I'm supposed to be podcasting, but it'd be so many little hiccups. But I'm thankful and I'm doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And the only way you're going to heal, the only way you're going to grow,
Yeah.
you got to do it. I always say it starts off with one decision.
Mm-hmm.
It's your choice. Just like when it comes to losing weight, I'm going to use me for example.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to losing weight, I can choose to eat this or I can choose to eat that. Now, I fall short because I love me a chicken box.
Mm-hmm. I do too. I love a chicken box. I'll ride far to get it too.
I love me a chicken box. But no, we got to make up our mind, you know. And I'm so happy you said that, and I appreciate you because time is running out.
Mm-hmm.
You know what the words tell us: you got to work while it's day. Time is running out,
Yeah.
and we don't have much time.
Mm-hmm.
And we should be working out. What do you say? Work out your salvation
Yeah.
with fear and trembling.
Yes.
Change is not easy.
Mm-hmm.
Change is uncomfortable, but you can do the change.
Yeah.
And I want to end with this scripture. I want you to, first of all, trust God's timing.
Yes.
Trust him in all things. Trust him in seasons. Trust him while you're waiting. Trust him while you're healing. Jeremiah 29:11 says, "For I know the plans that I have for you.
Yes.
Plans to give you a hope, a future, not to harm you, but to give you an expected end."
Yeah.
And so, as we close out with our affirmation, y'all know I love me a good affirmation.
Mm.
To the younger version of me, you survived what you thought would break you.
Yes.
You are stronger than you knew, wiser than you imagined, and every season helps shape the woman you are becoming. I want to end with a question. If your younger self met you today, would he or she recognize you, and would she be proud or he be proud of who you've become?
Yeah.
Take care of yourselves, and until the next time, keep growing, keep healing, keep becoming. And as always, thank you for watching. Have a good one. Bye.
Bye bye.